Kwendongi sana mboneti bwa gatwaranirie na antu betu ba Meru na barabari turandene Meru na kinyawo Meru nikenda tukauga mantu jairi jathatu jara jetite na mbere na jara ja kuthithika na jara ja kathithika na kundu na kuguru guku ni ntu wa murugu mpaka nyakau na ndaromba ndagika inkai yake mbangite ndagika je 10 yake tukauga tukuthiria karwaria getu kunda romba tu tumerie ndagika inkai na nkiuga ndi mami wenu kabati kaende na imbwendete sana ndene mwathani na ibwaga ntu bwa gwita na mbere bukindo mbaira mbere tutiraria mantu jetu jara yatumite mbithwa ndi najo tukubwa na arua inkwenda mbere gucokeria kinya Baite TV nkatho Baite FM na media ingire kuona shiria ja nkatho ntu bwa gutujoin utukubwa na arua na ndikenda tumba kwaria na ruthiomi rwetu rwa Kimeru tumba kwaria mantu charuruku ndingenda kuthoma taarifa inkaitu umperudha mutegeri wa Baite TV na other stations cia Kimeru mpombe tu kuita taarifa kidogo na njia ya gishuku kenda tumba kuririsi baba media inene kwamba gututiga batu tuendelea na mantu jetu na ndagika inkai yake ningwitikia twinde tugatha tunganiritwo kwa ujojo uri renja mami uri renja ndenda kwaria boka yake arafu tushoke tutonye giki Meru mbere semantu jongwa sharuruku ningwitikia tukatharima twinde turi amwe. I begin by strongly condemning the excessive use of force by police against peaceful protesters, which has resulted in the death and injuries of young Kenyans whose only crime was to demand accountability and oppose the misuse of public resources. In a modern constitutional democracy, the exercise of the right to assemble, express dissent, and hold differing political views must never be met with violence. I urge the government to listen to the legitimate grievances of our youth and address them urgently. Ignoring these concerns will only escalate tensions, risking deeper instability and further crippling our economy, a consequence that will inevitably worsen poverty for ordinary citizens. During my tenure as the duly elected governor of Meru, I faced persistent witch-hunts and sabotage from a coalition of political elites, both serving and former leaders, who conspired to remove me from office by any means necessary, under the guise of advocating for peace and unity. These actors concealed their true motive to overturn the will of the people of Meru. After their scheme succeeded and a new leader was installed through backdoor maneuvers, the promised peace and unity never materialized. Instead, Meru is now more deeply divided along sub-ethnic and political lines, with the political intolerance reaching unprecedented levels. The pro-people development programs my administration initiated have ground to a halt under the current leadership, which prioritizes personal gratification and political survival over service delivery. This shift has bred mistrust and is costing the people of Meru dearly, especially through rampage wastage of public funds for the benefit of a few leaders. Personally, I have experienced this intolerance with my community-driven Okorea initiative, reportedly and repeatedly disrupted by police and hired goons acting at the behest of instructions of the current county leadership. Such actions are not only undemocratic, but also a blatant violation of the rights of Meru residents. Whereas as a woman of courage, I have personally developed a thick skin against such attacks. There are other poor women and innocent community members who have been caught up in mayhem and suffered a great deal just for attending my charitable events aimed to elevating them from current state of poverty and despair. I remind the installed governor that leadership lacking a direct mandate from the people will always struggle to resonate with the struggles of ordinary citizens. True legitimacy comes from the ballot box, not backdoor deals. As the people's elected governor, I emphatically denounce the deliberate division of Meru along sub-tribe or sub-ethnic lines and condemn the emerging culture and political intolerance fostered by the current administration. Political oppression is backward, uncivilized, and unacceptable. It suffocates democracy and harms the socio-economic well-being of those we swore to serve. My call for political tolerance is made mindful that this weekend, Meru County hosts two critical events. One, the annual Daily Farmers Field Day, where His Excellency the President will engage farmers on improving milk production. As a large-scale daily farmer and union member, attend. I urge those seeking to prioritize this event to refrain. Farmers have a clear agenda for our leaders who will attend. Let us engage with him without or with other leaders without interference from intruders and self-seekers who do not have the farmers' interest at heart. There is also a visit by the opposition leaders from the country, hosted by the function of Meru elites. I understand that these leaders will be hosting by a function of leaders from Meru County, notably the former governor and the former cabinet secretary, who have now self-styled themselves as representatives of Meru community. I note that these so-called Meru representatives are the same people. I want to repeat it again. I note that those so-called Meru representatives are the same people who planned, schemed, financed, and sponsored my removal from office. They went an extra mile to unite against a democratically elected governor and sought to overturn the people's will by camping at the State House and lobbying for support to remove me from office. I wish to confirm to the public that these individuals who arranged the sabotage of a democratically elected governor are now ironically seeking me to join their political alliance. They have reached out to me, sent emissaries, and even phone called me. Before responding to their invitations, I demand they answer. Was it justice to overthrow the people's will? Was it justice to overthrow the people's will? I demand them to answer. To the opposition leaders joining them from other regions, where was your voice when a woman leader, democratically elected and was verified and hosted by the very people who you are now in alliance with? Finally, what is your agenda for Meru's women and men whose votes were disregarded? To the government of the day, the people of Meru still demand justice and the restoration of their governor of choice. They believe that without undue interference, their democratic decision would still stand. This appeal is simple: right the wrong. I urge Meru residents to embrace calm, tolerance, maturity during this visit. Let us reject divisive politics and allow every leader to present their vision without disruption. Meru's strength lies in unity, not sub-ethnic rivalry or political vendettas. Thank you. God bless you. Ibwaga kire ashorebe to baraba kuturiongereta nonto bwa kwenda kuigwa kidogo mantu ja makai na inkwenda gutio tegita kenda mpumba kwaria mantu ja makai tuna rubio mirwa Meru nikenda baraba inja bomba ku gwatavwega na kethero tu kare gukinya mitambone ndiaja ndagika inkai yake bumenyithie mantu ja makai ja mutongeria wa Meru na ja governor ule waringi